can haul under the fan.
Sure.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's start our chanting before meditation. If you have the book with you, turn to page number 5. Salutation to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The three refuges. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammang saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghang saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Sanghang saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Sanghang saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. The 5 precepts. Pānātipātā vēramaṇī සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි අදින්නාදාන වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි කාමීසු මිච්ඡාචාරා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි මුසාවාදා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි සුරාමේරය මජ්ජ පමාදට්ඨානා වේරමණී සික්ඛාපදං සමාදියාමි. On the opposite page, let us read the affirmative vows. Being aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion and learn ways to protect the lives of all living beings. Being aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, stealing, and oppression, I vow to respect the property of others and to practice generosity by sharing my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in real need. Being aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I vow to respect my commitments and those of others. I am determined not to engage in relations without love and a long-term commitment. Being aware that words can create suffering, I vow to learn to speak truthfully and develop peaceful, kind, and meaningful speech. Being aware of the suffering that an intoxicated and agitated mind can produce, I vow to develop mindfulness and heedfulness. Next page. Homage to the Buddha. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijjacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattadeva manussanang buddho bhagavati. Homage to the Dhamma. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehi pansiko opanaiko panchatang veditabbo Vinyuhiti. Homage to the Sangha. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ojopatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samiti patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidam chattari purisa yugani Atta purisa puggala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuniyo bahuniyo Dakkhiniyo anjali karaniyo Anutterang punyak ketang lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Offerings, offering of light. Ghanesarappaditena Deepena tamadhangsena Tilokadipang Sambuddhang Pujayami tamunudang. Offering of incense. Gandha sambhara yuttena dhupena hang sugandhina pujaye pujaniyang tang puja bhajana muttamang. Offering of flowers. One gandha gunopetang etang kusuma santatim pujayami muning dasasa siripad saroruhe pujemi buddhang kusumena nena Punyena mitena labhami mokkang pumpang milayati yatha idang mi kayo tatayati vinasa bhavang. Offering of water. Adivase no bhante paniyang parikampitang anukang pang upadaya patigan hatu uttama. Offering of drinks. Adhivase no bhante gilane panchayang imang anukang pang upadaya patigan hatu uttama. Worship of shrines. Wangdami cetiyang sabbang sabbetani supatititang saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddharupang sakalang sada. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next page. Wish of well-being. Itcheva manchang namasaniyang namasamano ratanatayang yang punyabhi sangdang vipulang alat තස්සානුභාවේන හතන්ත රායෝ. Reflections on the teachings of the Buddha in English. Mind is the forerunner of all experiences. Mind is chief. Mind made are they. If one speaks or acts with an impure mind, suffering follows like the wheel that follows the foot of the ox. Mind is the forerunner of all experiences. Mind is chief. Mind made are they. If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows like one's own shadow that never leaves. Generosity, kind words, benevolent action towards others, and equanimity towards all things and all beings. These bonds of sympathy function in the world like a linchpin in a moving cart. One by one, little by little, moment by moment, wise people should remove their impurities as a smith removes the dust from silver. For one who mindfully develops boundless loving kindness, mental defilements are weakened and the freedom from clinging is seen. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees with this wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. All conditioned things are unsatisfactory. When one sees with this wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. All things are not self. When one sees with this wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purification. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Welcome everyone for the meditation. This afternoon it rained here. So when it was raining, I was so happy because there were so many flower bushes, plants around our property. So I felt that they all got some nourishment with the rain. So when you think about it, I hope it appears to me that our Wednesday practice is something like that. Just like those plants need nourishments, and we all need spiritual nourishments. We all need that healing, the reinforcement for our practice. So coming together on Wednesday and helping each other is like being exposed to rain and being re-energized and refreshed and re-nourished. So I'm glad that we all are here. I hope that we'll be able to experience the serene joy of loving kindness with this practice, and also develop the sharpness of our mind with mindfulness. So let us do that. This is nourishing our mind, nourishing our heart, that will allow us to live this life with less suffering, with more happiness, and with more compassionate to many other beings. This nourishment will help us to be compassionate, to be more helpful to so many others. So just think about that, just Remind yourself that this practice that we are doing is to benefit ourselves and also to benefit so many other beings. Many beings will benefit from this practice. Just think about that. That will help us to commit to this practice. And make a determination that I will engage in this practice wholeheartedly. I will make use of this opportunity. I will make use of this gathering, this guidance, and I will engage in a committed practice. With that determination, let us listen to the sound of the bell and help ourselves to settle our mind into this present moment. And we will also do our chant to help ourselves to gather our attention and establish our attention right here in our body. Throughout the bell and the chant, let us keep drawing our attention inward and feeling our body more and more. Buddhaya. Let us settle with our body. Let us take a moment to simply observe what do we feel in different parts of our body. We can feel our feet and lower legs where they touch now. Try to notice the touch sensation, the texture of the surface that our feet and lower legs are touching now. Let us feel where our body meets the cushion or chair and feel the touch sensation or the pressed muscles against the cushion or chair. Just let us closely notice it. Let us feel our upper body. Notice the whole back area where we feel our clothes. Just feeling them as they are feelings to us right now. Whatever the ordinary, normal way that we can feel them, we just notice them. We will feel our arms and bend of our elbow. Let us feel our palms. With this awareness of the body, we are right here We are nowhere else but right here in this moment, here and now. As long as we can be with the body, as long as we can observe and notice any sensations, current sensations in the body, we are in the present moment. We are here and now. With this awareness of the body, let us now relax our body a little bit further, giving this body a chance to fully relax, to fully loosen up. This is a good time to let go of all the concerns in this very safe place. We can let go of all the concerns and allow this body to fully relax and loosen up. We can relax our facial muscles. Simply we can drop our jaw inside the mouth and invite a gentle smile, relaxing all the muscles around the face. We can relax our shoulders. If you wish, you can take a long breath. Fill your lungs with the fresh air with a long, deep breath. And when you breathe out, you can allow your chest to drop a little bit down, further down, allowing it to drop. You can take few more such long, deep in-breath. When you're breathing out, you can allow your shoulders to drop down, your belly to drop to the front. Take few more such deep, long in-breaths. With each out-breath, we relax, we loosen up all the muscles in the body. With this relaxed body, we will now bring our whole attention to our mind. We will simply notice what would be the thoughts or memories that will come to our mind right now. Just letting the mind to have any thought, we will simply notice. We will simply notice with curiosity, with the openness, what would be the next thought? What would be the specific memory that will occur in our mind right now? Without choosing any one of them to develop, we simply notice it and we simply drop it and wait for the next one. Various thoughts keep popping up in the mind, one after the other. But right now, let us now purposely direct this mind, purposely guide this mind to experience a wholesome quality, to manifest a wholesome quality in our mind. Loving kindness. Loving kindness is the willingness for everyone to be well. It is genuine wish of well-being. It is friendliness to us all. We all have this capacity. Am I willing if everyone is safe? Am I willing if everyone is happy? Generate this willingness. Bring that loving kindness to the front of the mind. Let us open our heart, just like when we are holding a little baby, just like when you are holding a little baby, or just like when you are petting a puppy, a kitten, or little bird, or any other pet, just like that, we will open our heart and generate that wholesome loving kindness, generate that willingness, generate that friendliness, generate the readiness to care. Let us now enhance this loving kindness. Make it stronger and stronger. We can do it by making more and more wishes of loving kindness. The more wishes we make, the stronger our loving kindness becomes. Let us keep wishing well-being to all beings, opening our heart and directing and radiating this friendliness, this genuine wish of well-being to all people, all beings. Let us take a moment, take time to think about all people, all beings with loving kindness. We will start with ourselves, with this living being. All living beings include this living being sitting here. We will start with this one, and then we can expand to all others. With whole heart, let us make a genuine wish of well-being to this person sitting here. May I be well. May I be strong. May I be healthy. May I have patience, courage, mindfulness, compassion to meet and overcome inevitable challenges in life. May I be peaceful. If you have a specific concerns, you can make a specific wish right now with a sense of compassion, acceptance, and forgiveness. Make a specific wish. Let us now expand this wish, radiate this wish to our body. Let us take a moment to radiate this loving kindness to all the organs, to all the systems of this whole body. All our organs, all our systems have been working for us day and night. Even without our care, without our attention, without our appreciation, all these organs, all these systems work as a community to enable our life. Right now, let us acknowledge the continuous support of all the organs and systems to live our life. We will radiate this loving kindness to all these organs. Let us feel our lungs. Feel the cooling sensation in the lungs when you breathe in. Let us make a genuine wish. May these lungs and whole respiratory system be well, be healthy, be healed. Let us radiate this loving kindness to our heart. May this heart, even beating for us right now, the cardiac muscles, the whole cardiovascular system be well, be healthy, be healed. May this digesting system, all the organs in this whole digesting system, the stomach, the liver, pancreas, intestine, colon, the whole digesting system Be well. Be healthy. Be healed. May these kidneys, both kidneys, and whole genitourinary system, this whole pelvic region, be well. Be healthy. Be healed. May this nervous system, central nervous system, the whole spinal cord, the brain stem, the middle brain, the frontal lobe, the whole nervous system, be well. Be healthy. Be healed. Allow this loving kindness to penetrate to each corner of this body. Let it reach every part of the body, to all these muscles, to all these ligaments, to all these tendons, to all the bones and all the joints throughout the body. May this whole body be well. Be healthy. Be healed. We will now expand this wish beyond ourselves to all other people. Let us share the same loving kindness, same wish of well-being with everyone else. Let us bring to our mind one of the most beloved persons in our life. Just choose one for this moment. One of the most beloved person. person who love you, person who can understand you. Just brings such a person to your mind right now. Let us expand and extend this wish to this person sitting here, to this person that we bring to our mind. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you have patience, courage, and mindfulness. May you be peaceful. Let us now bring to our mind a person that whom we have a great respect for, a person that we admire a lot. Bring such a person to your mind. One of your teachers, one of your mentors, one of your role models or leaders. Just bring one such person. Just select one that you respect a lot. Let us wish. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you have patience, courage, and mindfulness. May you be peaceful. Now bring to your mind a person that you randomly meet in your life. Just select one person that you occasionally meet once in a while. That you know the person, but you haven't developed a special relationships yet. Just select one. There could be many. Just one. You occasionally meet, randomly meet, a neutral person. Let us wish for this person. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you have patience, courage, and mindfulness. May you be peaceful. Let us now expand this wish to all people living everywhere. May all people, just like those special people, may everyone else, may all people living in this whole neighborhood and all the neighboring neighborhoods in this whole surrounding area, may they all be well, be well, be peaceful. Let us expand this wish as wide as we can to include as many people as we can to this wish. May all people beyond this surrounding area, living in all other faraway places, may all people living throughout the country, even beyond the country, in all other parts of the world, may all of them, all human beings, be well, be well, be well, be peace. As they expand this wish to include all the animals and all other living beings. May all animals, from large ones to tiny ones, may all other living beings, all life forms, each and every living organism, without exception, be well, be well, be well, be peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. This loving kindness embraces all beings. It pervades to every direction and embraces all beings without exception. Rejoice, Rejoice this unbound loving kindness. Limitless loving kindness. Rejoice. With this rejoice, let us now focus our attention to the peace, the calmness we feel right now. We will now deepen the calmness, the peacefulness we experience right now. We will simply bring our whole attention to our breath, and we pay attention to the sensations we can feel when the air is moving through our nostrils. We will pay attention to the sensation you can feel in our chest, and just observe the sensations related to the in-breath and sensations related to the out-breath. We will simplify our mind. We will let go of any thoughts. We will simply be open to this experience, these true sensations happening now. Each breath is a fresh breath. For next few moments, for next few minutes, let us feel the breath, observe the breath, notice the breath, be with the breath. Gently come out of the meditation. Gently put your palms together and place them against your chest. Let's take a moment to feel grateful for this opportunity to have peaceful meditation in our life. Let's feel grateful to all great teachers, enlightened masters in the past. Let us feel grateful to anyone who helped our meditation tonight. Let us feel grateful to this device that helped us to connect to this meditation, and to this chair, the cushion, this bell, and the fan, whatever that helped our meditation. With deep gratitude towards all people and all things that made this meditation possible for us today. Let us say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Did you let the loving kindness pour all over you? For the nourishment?
I was thinking about it.
Okay. Okay. I think after some time, actually, we have just one monk for the Wednesday meditation, right? Usually, we have either, at least 2 monks most of the time. But you will have more monks from next week. Okay. Let us move to our discussion. So as you remember, we have been discussing 16 defilements of mind. So we have been discussing different unskillful tendencies that we usually have. That's very common. So we have become familiar with so many of them. So in the practice of meditation, we develop wholesome qualities, but we also need to recognize and understand what will be the unskillful, unhelpful tendencies of the mind, because those things will be the mental state that we will mostly experience, we will mostly encounter. So we should be aware of them, we should understand them, we should be able to recognize them, and we should also know a way to deal with them and eventually overcome them. And that's also part of our practice. I think in your reminder emails that you got on Wednesday meditation, there was a quote by a German Buddhist monk, Bhikkhu Analayo, and he's telling that we should not separate meditation and our worldly life that much, because what you call the outside world offers us so many opportunities to check our maturity, to really see what kind of changes and transformation that has happened. So it's a real test of our spiritual practice. So it's important that we become aware and recognize those unwholesome or unhelpful, unskillful mental states. Otherwise, and then we will not miss them. We will not uh, um, we will not let them grow inside of us without knowing them. Sermon 16, let me go through the list. We talk about abijja, which is covetousness or unrighteous greed. And then we talk about 3 forms of anger: general anger, ill will, and also hostility. 3 different manifestations of the anger. And then we talk about makar, which is a contempt or denigration, like hiding others' goodness. And then we talk about palasa, like domineering, nature, wanting to outdo others. And then we talk about issa, which is jealousy or envy. And then we talk about machcharya, which is stinginess or miserliness. And then we talk about maya, which is deceitfulness or dishonesty. And then I skip satya, which is related to maya, more like craftiness or like cheating others, wanting to cheat others. And thamba, we talk about thamba, like inflexible nature, like being like a pillar, what we call obstinacy, not wanting to let go and not wanting to change, not wanting to be flexible. Obstinacy. And last week we talked about saramba, which is revengefulness, like wanting to take revenge, like teach a lesson. That need, that. So today we'll talk about 2, which is very subtle, and we've talked about this mental state even before too. I think it is mana and atimana. I remember Dan mentioned about mana. Even when we talk about jealousy, we talk about mana, and this comes towards the end of the list because this is quite subtle, very subtle, and of course is related to many other unhelpful, unskillful mental states too. So mana and atimana. Mana is usually translated as conceit, and atimana is as arrogance. But of course, the atimana has this meaning of arrogance. But mana, at this word closely, we find that the very word mana is coming from a word called maneti, which means to measure. So mana is this tendency to measure. It's more like a tendency to measure oneself against others. That means to tendency to compare. So the deep meaning of mana is this tendency to compare oneself with others. And atimana is a manifestation of that, which means to become arrogant and prideful. So this is a very, very, very subtle mental state. Of course, we may be able to identify arrogance and pride in others, but it's very quite difficult to identify it within ourselves. But when you come to mana, it's not only arrogance. That is interesting. Not only arrogance. And in the Buddhist teaching, we find 3 ways that we measure ourselves. 3 ways that we compare ourselves with others. One is called seyamana, which means that we compare ourselves with someone else and think that, oh, I am better than this person. So you feel like I am better than this person, what we call superiority. Superiority. Yeah, superiority. So I am better than that person. So that's one way. And then the second way is called sadisamana, which means you compare yourself with someone else, say, oh, I'm as equally as good as that person. You can think about some, maybe you think whoever, maybe someone who, well known, or whoever you compare yourself with others, and oh, I'm also as good as that person, although I'm not famous like him or her. I'm as good as that person. That's one way. And then there's also another way, very interesting. This may be very common in many of us. It's called Hinaman, which means that you compare yourself with someone else and think that I am worse than this person. I'm worse than this person. So there are three ways. I am better than the other person. I'm as equally as good as the other person, or I'm worse than that person. And so there are three different ways of measuring, three different ways of comparing, and there are three different results. But no matter, however, the way that we compare ourselves, and it's at the end they are not necessarily helpful. And the last one, thinking that I'm worse than the others, is can be very common in a competitive society. That's because of this like tendency to compare and always think that, oh, I'm worse than other person, gives you this belief that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. So there's a common belief that many people who are living in an industrial competitive society is having. I'm not good enough. Because you will always find someone who's doing better than you in many areas. And then you believe that I'm not good enough. And this is very common in many younger generations these days. Because they are so competitive and there are so many options. There are so many, narratives that you can become like this, you can become whoever you want to be, and all this kind of, narratives. And then when someone says you can become whoever you want to be, and whether you become an astronaut, you think that I'm not good enough. Right? And so these three ways of manifestations. Of course, the Atimana is the superiority. Always thinking that I'm better than that person. I'm always having that pridefulness and conceit nature. But mana is very subtle, and then it can manifest all these different ways. And so the opposite of Atimana is humility. But what we need to get rid of is not simply the pride, the very tendency to compare ourselves with others. So the reason is that, of course, any act of comparing is not fair, so to speak. Right? Because whenever we compare ourselves with anyone else, we only compare ourselves with one certain aspect of that person. If we take one whole individual, everyone is individually distinctive, right? It's really impossible for us to compare. We really cannot find a common ground to compare. Whenever we compare ourselves with someone else, we don't compare with the whole person. We only compare with one aspect. That if you want to feel, disappointed and little, and you focus on the good part of that person. And if you want to feel conceited and prideful and feel really high, and you focus on whatever weakness of that person. We never compare ourselves with the full person, and it's not possible. And each individual is unique, so it's not possible. But we do it. It's the tendency. We do it, and as a result, either way, whatever the way, whether we think that I'm better than, or I'm higher than, I'm I'm more powerful than other person. Whether you think that way, or I'm powerless, or I'm not good enough, I'm worse than other person. Whatever the way you think, it's not helping. It's simply producing suffering. Even though we feel like, oh, I'm as good as that person, but he received all the benefits and all the fame, everything. I don't get it, and again we are suffering. And so in the Buddhist literature, we find different ways that we can develop this. We can compare ourselves with others in account of so many things. We can compare ourselves with others in account of our physical features. You can whether high or same or lower. With our physical feature, we can do it on account of our race, our ethnicity. We can do it in account of our social class, our profession, our wealth, our knowledge, our education, and our skills. Oh, he can sing better than me. Or I can sing better than everyone else here. Whatever. Or I can sing as equally as good as him, but I don't get any fame. So there are so many grounds we can use to compare, and we have to be careful, because usually these things can develop whenever we are living our ordinary normal life. Particularly, when someone praises us for anything that we have done, that's a good moment. That's a good breeding ground for our Sayyamana, for our conceit to grow. Without our knowing, I'm better than, yes. Then you expect praise the next day, and you don't get it, and you get upset over these people don't appreciate what I'm doing, and you can develop all other kinds of things. And sometimes people will come and ridicule you and criticize you and blame you. That's also another breeding ground for us to develop Hinamana. I'm not good enough. I'm worse than everyone else. But all these cases, whether people praise you or blame us, we just have to take what they're telling us and then look into the facts and information and try to be mindful of not to let any forms of mana to grow, because society can provide us so many opportunities to grow our mana, grow our this tendency to compare. No matter whatever the way we compare, and what we are really doing there is actually whether we compare ourselves as higher, low, or equal. Without our knowing, we are actually feeding our wrong notion of I. It's a form of ego that we grow. So, and at the end, that's the main source of suffering. And then this tendency is not helping us. It's very common. It can occur in a very unconscious level very easily. But with our practice, with our acute awareness, with our practice of mindfulness, we can be aware of it. Because most of our disappointments, our sufferings, our pains are due to this subtle tendency. And if we keep thinking that I'm not good enough, and it can eventually develop into many other disorders, both physical and mental. Or if you also keep thinking that I'm better than that person, I'm higher, and I'm more powerful, whatever, keep thinking that, you can also develop that into what we call self-aggrandizement.
Aggrandizement.
Yeah, aggrandizement, right? Yeah, and
Or a political career.
expecting everyone to like respect you and follow you, right? So self-aggrandizement is a qualification to become a political leader.
Yeah, you have to be really good at it. You have to be really good at it.
Yeah. So when you talk about this, tendency to compare this man or this pride and conceit, and then maybe the other forms of, comparing, how we distinguish self-confidence from this tendency to compare and conceit? What's the difference between self-confidence and conceit?
Conceit comes across as force to me somehow, as intentional, attempting to make an impression or something like that.
Okay, you are attempting to make an impression of yourself to some others.
Seems like one is more about you and another, and the other is more just comes from yourself.
Exactly. That's how we can actually understand the difference. The conceit and pride is always, that's it's comparing with someone else. If you think that I'm the best in the world, that is pride, that is conceit. But self-confidence is more like coming within us, not with reference to anyone else. You don't try to find others as a reference. You can have self-confidence that I will do my best. So I will use all my strength. I believe that I can do it. Not better than anyone else. So as long as we don't go out and compare with others, and it is healthy. So like when you think that I will do my best, I will become the best I can. So maybe you have a kind of comparison within yourself. I will become better than yesterday. So you're not comparing yourself with anyone else, but with yourself. You try to be the best version of yourself. And that's So there are these are very subtle things that we may confuse that. Oh, I'm not prideful. I'm just self-confident. Self-confidence can be a good cover to pride and conceit. So you have to be really careful how to distinguish these things.
So if you see that you're comparing yourself with another, how do you not do that? How do you stop? I mean, like after you've seen it.
I think that the most challenging part will be to see it. Because it happens in a very unconscious, very automatic way.
Right. But after you're past that, then what?
Then what? Okay. But are we sure that we can detect? Are we sure that we have developed enough skills to detect that? Yeah, I mean, this, in practice of meditation, practice of mindfulness, being able to watch our own thoughts. Most of the time, we don't watch our own thoughts. And, we believe whatever thoughts occur to our mind, we tend to believe them. Right? So I think first and foremost, we need to develop this different relationship with our thoughts. Being able to watch them, being able to it's just like, the mind is...
Change the subject, sort of?
I'll come to the techniques. Mainly, in Buddhism, we also consider mind. Mind has a dual role. One is to organize the sensory data coming from other five senses. It's an organizer. And that's how we make sense of the things that we see and hear. So it has a secondary role of organizing. And then mind can also function as an independent sensory organ by itself. Let's see. And then, so we have eye and we have visual forms. You have ear and you have sounds. In the same way, you have mind and you have mental objects, which could be thoughts, memories, mental images, whatever. Whenever you hear a sound, do you consider that sound as yours? Not necessarily, right? When we see visual forms, when we hear sounds, we simply treat them. Okay, I see something, I hear something. But whenever a thought occurs to us, a memory occurs to us, we somehow think that those are quite like not like sounds and smells and visual forms, like thoughts as, oh, those are mine, those are subjective, those are especially my things. So with the practice of mindfulness, what we are really doing is that we try to see the relationship between thoughts and mind is not very different from eye and sounds. They simply occur as a result of habits and so then so we develop a different relationship. We see them, we observe them, but we don't necessarily treat them as, we don't necessarily believe them, so to speak. Yeah. And then that is what we need to first develop. I mean, that's what we have been developing with mindfulness. And then whenever those thoughts automatically occurs to us, we can watch them. We don't have necessarily believe them. That doesn't mean that we deny them, we hate them. We simply observe them, and just like whenever hear something pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, we listen them. We have developed the attitude of acceptance too, and then we observe them, and then after learning these tendencies that we know that there's a tendency called mana. There's this tendency of comparing, and based on our prior knowledge, prior understanding, whenever these things occur to us, whenever someone praises us, whenever someone blames us, whenever we see someone doing something, and when these things are occurring, we become aware of them and we detect them. And detecting them and identifying them is the very important step. If you miss that, you'll not be able to practice any other techniques.
So if we were to take the my out of our thoughts and just sort of think of them as the
Thoughts, like sounds.
Thought, thinking.
Thinking, yeah. And they're easy to handle them. We don't try to defend it. I mean, we try to defend our thoughts, right? We try to defend our beliefs, because we feel that they're especially ours. That's how we try so much to defend them, protect them. Yeah. And then once we detect them, and then we can do few other things. One, actually, let's say, because we, as an individual, we have strengths, we have skills, we have education, we have and we also have some weaknesses. All these things are here. Let's say someone praises us for something that we have done. We humbly accept it, but we try to kind of renounce the ownership of it as an individual. I mean, of course, we have a responsibility, but ownership in the sense that whatever skills that I have right now is a result of so many previous conditions. So many people have inspired us. So many people have taught us. We have followed so many other people. And so whatever skills and strengths and good qualities that I have right now is thanks to so many other people that lived before me and who taught me, who inspired me, and so many other conditions that I went through. And so instead of claiming the ownership to that praise, you kind of disperse it to all the people, all the conditions that made you that person. It's like pushing away the ownership and distributing it. That's one way. And then if you detect the very, like very tendency to compare, and then understand that, I mean, am I better than him? Am I equally as good as him? Am I worse than him? And whenever we have these thoughts, and then detect that, comparing. Not a smart thing, and it's not fair. It's not fair. There's no way that that we can compare with anyone else. And then acknowledge the very tendency, and then acknowledge that it's an unwise and unfair thing to do.
One thing,
Yes.
it's compassionate self-understanding. Compassionate self-understanding. I was just thinking about that Nancy's question, and I was thinking about if you recognize a tendency in yourself, I compare myself with other people. And then you get pissed at yourself for comparing yourself with other people, or frustrated with yourself for not being able to do otherwise. I think that's where it becomes a...
Yeah, exactly.
And I like to think that awareness is really enough, but it has to be compassionate awareness. Am I speaking off base, or?
No. I think you're bringing a good, very important point. Like, let's say we become aware that I have this tendency to compare, and then you become aware of it, and then you can develop another layer of, judgment about oneself. I mean, I'm so bad. I'm comparing myself. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to do that. That is not the practice is all about. There are no like fixed rules that we just recognize they are not helpful. But we also understand that those tendencies are a result of so many conditions that we have been and these things has to be acknowledged, and gradually we have to weaken them.
Let them go.
Yeah, let them go, and even like not have a strong ownership to that very tendency that we are having, right? Yeah. So otherwise we can develop another layer of disappointments. Exactly. Yeah. It's very subtle. Yeah. And the other way, actually, one way we can, whenever we start to compare ourselves with others, one way that we can, first detect that, accept that, okay, I'm human, this is happening, but just not helpful. And then we can think about, okay, with understanding of the whole Buddhist understanding of anatta, which is what you call non-self, so to speak, or selflessness. It doesn't mean that there's no self, but means that whatever self we have is a constructed self, it's a built-up self, and there's nothing permanent inside it. It's just continuously constructing, project. So whenever we detect that, we are comparing ourselves, and we can ask the counter question: is there a fixed self that I can compare in the first place? Because whatever I'm trying to compare is continuously changing.
It's impermanent.
Yeah. So that having that understanding of non-self, that there's no fixed self in the first place that I can compare with. I can compare with someone else's self.
And theirs isn't fixed either.
Not fixed either. And we know that. We know that. Yeah. So that kind of reflections can help us to overcome that. So whatever here is a continuously constructed process. What I'm trying to compare with is also continuously constructing process. So it's not possible at all. Yeah. At least to understand there's no fixed self here that I can judge. Okay, so mana, not himana. Yeah. So let's have compassion to many others, because this is a very subtle, very common tendency that many people are having, and so many people are experiencing suffering, either in forms of conceit, either forms of disappointments, just because of this tendency. Very easily they feel hurt. Very easily they feel disappointed and frustrated with no reason, because of this tendency. So we really have to have deep compassion for everyone, including ourselves, and try to help ourselves and also to others to try to understand this very simple unconscious tendency, but that can produce so much suffering to particularly to human beings, not very much to animals, but mainly to human beings, because it is our mind that is sophisticated enough to compare. Okay, let us be aware of that one too. Okay, let us move to the other part of the program. By doing this practice together, and then and dedicating our time, our body, our speech, and our mind for this practice, and having this discussion of the Dhamma, we have generated so much goodness in our heart, good merits, good karma. We can share this good karma with everyone else. First of all, let us share these merits with our departed family members, our ancestors. Let us be grateful to all of them and share these merits with them. May they too be benefited from these merits. May they share this goodness. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu Sukhita hontu ñātayo. Let us also share these merits with all other living beings. If there's any living being in this world who would like to share this merit, may he or she do so. May all living beings share our merits. May all living beings be well, happy, and peaceful. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya Sabbe sattha anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya. Wish for the well-being of the world in English. May the weather be pleasing. May the people prosper in their lives. May there be peace and happiness in the world. May the rulers be righteous. May all those who are suffering be free from suffering. May all those who are in fear be free from fear. May all those who are in grief be free from grief. May all beings be well and happy. Aspiration. May this wholesome act quicken the liberation of my mind from mental defilements. By virtue of this wholesome act, may I never follow the unwise people. May I associate with good people until I attain Nibbana, purification. If by body, speech, or mind I have carelessly done wrong, I acknowledge them all in front of the Tathagata of great wisdom and determine to be heedful. Now I will do this loving kindness sutra. I will chant this loving kindness sutra, and this is the blessing service. And this particular loving kindness sutra was given by the Buddha with great compassion for all living beings. And I will chant the same sutra for you right now, wishing you all good health, courage, and patience and mindfulness to overcome challenges and difficulties in your life. You may also recall to your mind whoever you want to share these blessings with. Your family members, people who are sick, recall them to your mind and share these blessings with them too. May all of you receive these blessings. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Karaniya matta kusalena yantang santang padang abhisamicca sakko jocha sojocha suvacho chasansamuduvanati Santos sakocha subharocha ampakichocha salahokavunti samtringriyocha nipakocha ampagabbo kulesu ananugindo nachagundang samachari kinchi yena vinyo pare Upavadiyong sakino vakemino honto sabbe satta bhavantu sukitatta eke chipana bhutanti tasavatāvarāvā anavasesa Dīghāvāye mahantāvā majjimārasnsakānukatula dittāvāyeva additāye chadure vasanti avidure bhūtāvāsaṁ bhavesiva Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta naparo param nikubbeta nati manyeta katta chinang kanchi vyarosana patigha sanya nanyamanyasnsa dukkhamitchaya Mata yatha niyang puttang ayusa eka putta manurakke evampi sabba bhutesu manasang bhavaye aparimanang mettang ca sabba lokasming manasang bhavaye aparimanang uddham adocha tiriyang ca asangbadang Averang asapatang tetang charang nising nova sayanu va yavatasens vigadamindo etang sating aditteya Brahmamitang viharang idmahu ditting cha anupagang silva dasansanina sangpanno kami suvinaya gedang nahi jatu gamba seyang punareti etena satcha vajjena sotti te hotu sambada etena satcha vajjena sabbarogo vinassatu etena satcha vajjena hotu te jaya mangalang Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena Sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata Sambha Sanghanubhavena Sada Sotti Bhavantu Te. Let us spend a moment of reflection. Try to recall to our mind whatever kind deed that we were able to do during last few days. Think about your past few days. You may have a good opportunity to do some kind deed, to be kind to someone. Just recall those precious moments that you were kind to someone with your speech, with your action, or even like listening to someone or giving something to someone. Let us rejoice these moments that we were able to be kind. On this day or in the past, if I have done kind deeds to other beings with my body, speech, or mind, whether great or little, here before the Buddha, I call to mind those kind deeds and let my heart rejoice. I rejoice in those kind deeds, appreciating the opportunity to be helpful to others. I rejoice in those kind deeds, wishing more opportunities to practice compassion. I rejoice in those kind deeds, resolving not to compare myself with others. I rejoice in those kind deeds, and glad to share this joy with all beings everywhere. May my kind deeds relieve the burdens of other beings. May my kind deeds shield me from all dangers and pain. May my kind deeds and merits that come from them help me in freeing my heart. Let us now recall to our mind whatever kindness we get from others Think about your past few days and recall a moment that someone helped you, someone were kind to you. Receive a moment that you received kindness from others. Let us rejoice the goodness of others. On this day or in the past, if I have seen or heard of the kind deeds done by others with their body, speech, or mind, whether great or little, here before the Buddha, I call to mind those kind deeds, and let my heart rejoice. I rejoice in the goodness of others, being always ready to praise kind people and follow their example. I rejoice in the goodness of others, appreciating that there are many good-hearted people in the world. I rejoice in the goodness of others, expressing gratitude for any kindness done. May the kind deeds of others bring safety and happiness to many living beings. May the kind deeds of others foster gratitude and fellowship among many living beings. May the kind deeds of others nurture goodness in me and many living beings. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope that you maintain this. Maybe you carry this peace and carry this understanding to the rest of the week, and we look forward to see you next week.